We can learn new languages. We can learn art. We can learn music. We can get smarter. We can get better at essentially anything if we devote our attentional resources to learning those things. The thing about mindsets is that they include entire narratives. And most of the time, we aren't even aware of how those narratives are operating. What we have are stories, and those stories are usually attached to our sense of identity. For instance, I do not think of myself as a good musician. In fact, I can't read music. I'm terrible at playing instruments. I like listening to music, but I consider myself a terrible musician, right? I've really assigned a value, or I've assigned my value to music and my relationship to music, right? We tend to do that. The point being that mindsets include all of these narratives, and often those narratives are visible to us if we think about them. So there's room for improvement for everybody. What they found was absolutely striking. The kids that were in the control group, the kids that were in the intelligence praise group, the you're so smart, you're so talented praise group, their performance went down significantly. Whereas the kids that were in the effort praise group, their performance increased significantly. So that's striking. It says that if you tell a kid that they're smart or talented, and that's the reason why they perform well, when they encounter challenges, they are likely to go with the least amount of challenge. And the converse is also true. When kids are told, hey, you really tried hard, and that's great, or I like how you persisted, or you're so persistent, I can really see how persistent you are in trying to get the right answer, even if you don't get the right answer. Well, then when you present those kids with additional challenges, they work very hard to stay in challenge. And guess what? No surprise. The kids that are rewarded for effort and that continue to pick harder problems outperform the kids that are given the intelligence praise and feedback by a large margin. Okay, so this is a bi-directional effect where giving intelligence praise reduces performance and giving effort praise improves performance, which is absolutely striking. Rewarding yourself based on identity labels, so smart, so talented, you're a great athlete, can actually undermine performance. And in fact, it does undermine performance. It may not do it right away, but eventually it does. It turns out that the kids that got intelligence praise also tended to take on fewer problems overall. They tended to limit the total number of challenges that they engaged in. Whereas the kids that got the effort praise, those kids not only opted for harder challenges, they not only performed better, but they also took on many more challenges. But it's actually pretty rare that we hear effort rewarded in everyday settings. And it is very common for us to overhear intelligence praise or talent praise, performing better than everybody else. So just to illustrate how important the findings in this study really are, the paper was published in 1998, but just 2 years prior, in 1996, there was a survey of parents asking, to what extent do you believe that intelligence is fixed? And 85% answered that they thought that intelligence was fixed. That means they believed that the brain was sort of a vessel of fixed size, whereas nowadays we really understand, mainly through our deeper understanding of neuroplasticity and how the brain learns, that indeed the brain can learn and that intelligence is not fixed. Literature showing that under conditions where either the teacher or the mentor is not there or is not embracing a growth mindset, we actually can serve as our own teacher by using a simple tool is to take maybe a 3x5 card or an 8.5x11 sheet of paper and write out a letter as if you're writing a letter to the next person coming along trying to get good at the thing that you're trying to get good at, and explain to them what growth mindset is and how it differs from a fixed mindset. That simple exercise of writing a letter, which is essentially to oneself, but you're sort of pretending that the letter is for somebody else, that simple exercise has been shown to improve one's own performance and to do so in dramatic ways, not just in the immediate term, but also in the future. The process of building up these mindsets involves another mindset, which is the one that umbrellas them all, which is the idea that mindsets are indeed powerful, that they can have a real effect, and that while they do take time to cultivate, they can be cultivated.